What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. We're in the semi-finals right now, Clash of Immortals. I'm doing this from the grave here. The tournament's already over. If you don't want to wait around and wait for me to cast the games, go and watch it on the EGC TV channel. For everyone else out there, no spoilers in the comments. Let's enjoy this together. First, I don't really know exactly how the games went, but I must admit I was sort of watching results. So I don't really know who won what, and we're going to be trying to enjoy it both together. But let's introduce the two players here for our first series here. In the left-hand corner of the map, it is Kvoth, and he's playing as Gaia. And TheMista in the right-hand corner of the map is going to be playing as Noir. Very, very interesting matchup here. I'm surprised to see TheMista going with Noir off the bat here. This is a little bit on the risky side of things because, you know, Kvoth has got his Gaia in the roster, and I think a lot of players are saying, hey, China, very, very powerful. However, how do you beat Atlanteans? How do you beat the Terma? How do you beat everything that goes through it? It's very, very tricky, in my opinion. I do think there's a couple of ways you can do it, though. So I'm excited to see if Mystery has kind of worked it out, and China's still very, very new. I know that I've talked to him a little bit, or at least seen him writing stuff and seeing his thoughts. He hasn't had a huge amount of time to kind of unpack these civilizations. So everyone's still in the process. Everyone's still trying to work out exactly what they're going to be going for in this sort of a matchup. And the on the paper hard matchups are always the ones that sort of take a little bit of time to unpack, a little bit of time to figure out, okay, where are the big difficult points to kind of overcome to find victories. Now, when you're playing as the Atlantean, or the civilization that's kind of a little bit more straight down the line, you have to be coming into your own mind and saying, hang on, okay, this is my advantage here, but maybe there's a way that they could go. So we have to be ready to counterpunch if something like that happens. Now, we are seeing the classical age god How-To to come through for TheMista. This one's been very, very popular amongst Noir and Shenong. I believe it's Shenong. Yeah, Noir and Shenong. This one's giving you that Earth Wall god power, especially when playing against Atlantean. You want to have that sort of wall so that you can block mass Terma from getting any damage done. Terma can't kill off the walls. They have to sit there for like, I don't know, 1,000 seconds or something crazy, get 1,000 seconds worth of DPS in, which is quite a lot to actually kill off a wall. I'm saying Oceanus for Kvoth, which is no surprise. Leto is arguably the better option against China because, you know, they have to build pioneers to deal with the automaton spam, and then you can make yourself a whole bunch of Terma to kill off the pioneers, and all of a sudden you've got these really powerful automatons that don't have a fantastic sort of defense. As we see creation coming through for TheMista nice and early here, dropping that down somewhere on the map. It looks like he's actually going for a bit of an aggressive play. He's going for wow, the military camp coming up right outside the base of Kvoth here. I think he's going to be going for an early tower out of this as well. We saw this from, in fact, he's already done it. We've seen this from Mini Yeti actually recently on the ladder, as he is really going for it at the moment. This is not that big of a deal if you're Kvoth. Kvoth here, he's got gold at the back of his base he can go and walk to if he wants to. We're seeing another military camp to come down. This is actually really, really powerful. But realistically, there's only really one unit that TheMista can build out of this, and that one unit is going to be the Javelineer, because otherwise there's just going to be a huge amount of Terma to come at him. As we also see the Earth Wall to come through, and beautiful reaction here from Kvoth, going to come over and start shanking down this wall immediately. These walls do take a long time to actually kind of get finished, so if he kills off all the walls, it's not a problem. He doesn't mind the rest of them kind of finishing up here. It looks like he's going to be able to garrison through that position nonetheless. As these towers, I think they're in range of the gold mine, but there's nothing actually coming out of here. Now, Mr. here, he doesn't actually need to continue with this rush. Getting those two buildings down, getting those towers up straight away, that's completely fine to just finish up here and just say, great, I forced out watchtowers, I forced out all this defensive stuff, all these resources lost. He can just drop a town center now if he wants to. Now, Kvoth's already got his oracles positioned. He's going to immediately see that town center. And if he's paying attention here, excuse me, if he's paying attention here, he could probably just move across the map and cause a lot of pain onto this position. It does take a very short amount of time to get the town center up with those, with that hero Kvoth, but you know, Kvoth is going to be able to get across there. He's going to be able to get some damage done onto those units at the very least. The oracles are just going to simply move a little bit outwards, and it looks to me like Mr. gets kind of what he wants from this early game. And these are sort of the things I'm kind of talking about, where if you're the one with the kind of worry, if you're the one with the more difficult sort of side of the matchup, you got to come up with something. And Mr. I wouldn't, maybe he didn't see the game, but I've seen it before. But this is a really, really powerful opening for China, and I think Kvoth dealt with it beautifully. He didn't really take too much damage here, but his far second town center, he can't really do that. So he's almost forced. I think he is forced. He can go for like a 3 town center thing a little bit later if he wants to, or just a whole bunch of Terma and go. But I think his best option right now is to just get really, really aggressive, because there's not really any problem with this. Just get in, raid gold, raid wood. The base of the mystery is incredibly open here. We aren't really seeing a whole bunch of Terminator come through. He could go straight to the heroic age here if he wants to as well. Kvoth can, and go through Rhea and then try and just break through. It looks like he is going for a town center. So, I mean, this isn't... I wouldn't say that this is like necessarily a bad idea. It just kind of plays into the Mister's hands. Like, this is what the Mister wants. He built these 2 buildings to put some pressure on, to slow the second town center down, such that he can get a safer and faster second town center relative to what Guy would be able to do normally. So if Mister went for like a naked fast second town center, Kvoth would have answered with his own naked fast second town center, which probably would have been, I don't know, like 30 seconds behind, maybe 45 seconds behind in terms of here spotting a couple of pioneers. Going to be able to, oh, nice dodge there from Mr. You can, if you micro this with formations, you can dodge the Terma on the retreat there. You got to go between, I've been practicing this a little bit. When it's upset, like such a nerd. Been practicing a little bit in my spare time. You can kind of run back with spread formation and line formation, or box formation and spread formation, and that's going to be making the Terma actually miss your units while simply just running in a straight line. Though it does slow them down when they start moving. But it's kind of fun. Not that it matters. Picking up a unit there is nice for Kvoth. Doesn't really get him a whole lot, as Mr. is now aiming to get to the heroic age as fast as he can. He sees those Terma. The best answer for archers, for cavalry archers like this from the Atlanteans when you're playing as China, is going to be those white horse cavalry. He wants to go, especially with Noir with that bonus, he wants to get those out, and he wants to put some pressure back onto Kvoth somehow. He's also going to have the what are they called? Fey Beasts God Power, which you can use to pick off all of these Terma on the front here, as it is going to be Rashol here, as well as the hand axe and pickaxe to come through. No surprises there. But so far, so good here for the Mystic. He hasn't really felt the brunt of the Atlantean power. But economically speaking, things very, very close here. 46 villages to 48. There's a slight advantage, I would say, for the kind of economy of the Atlantean. We might actually see a citizen getting sniped here. It's slowly going down. Kvoth does notice that he pulls back just outside of there. He's going to be able to heal back up on that Gaia Lush, as the Cheongchi just constantly scouting. This is something that Mr. He's really prioritized throughout all of Age of Mythology, in Legacy, in Retold, even in Age of Empires 4. I noticed this as well. He just wants to know what's happening. He doesn't want to get caught out. If his opponent's going for a full all-in the classical age, he wants to know. If he's going for a heroic age, he wants to know. And you have to kind of understand that this is something that he needs to have, as he gets a nice snipe there onto that citizen in the middle of nowhere with the Baihu. Nice little play from the Mystic Kvoth. A little bit antsy with that one. He's just playing a little bit around onto the side. We see some barracks coming up. There's no real need for Kvoth to go off the rails here. You can kind of just go into some normal units. However, these white horse cavalry, for those of you who don't know, they are actually stronger than Contarius in a 1-for-1. They're stronger than Contarius because they come from a battle way. It's harder to get as many of them out. However, if TheMista can just go full White Horse Cavalry, then Kvoth's angle of going into Contarius here, which he obviously wants to go for, is not going to be able to be successful here. But Mr. has to get to that, like, a number of White Horse Cavalry, whereas Kvoth, he's already pumping out 5 of these Contarius at the time. He's getting himself that Poseidon's secret technology, making those cheaper, and all of the good stuff. And he's going to be able to charge over here and defend, as Kvoth also has a mana here he can dive into. Oop. There he goes onto the retreat as one does go down. Now, I'm not sure if it's the case. I've only really experienced it once, but I'm not sure if it's the case if it's just Noir, as we see Gong Gong pre-queued here for TheMista. I'm not sure if it's the case that the White Horse Cavalry just full stop beat these Contarius, but in my experience, the White Horse Cavalry do beat, with Noir, do beat the Contarius fully upgraded. Both players are getting the same sort of upgrades. I think, though we didn't see Mr. going through the right Heroic Age God. I believe if you go through Golmang with the Forest Protection, you get a little something extra. But nonetheless, we've got Crenellations to come through, as well as the Boiling Oil Tech. Mr. knows that there is potential here for Kvoth to get a really, really big all-in. And realistically speaking, this Great Flood God power, while I do think it's okay, it's not a bad God power by any stretch, it doesn't delete armies anymore. It's not like Implode, which can absolutely erase an army. It's going to like half kill an army, which is pretty strong, but it's not going to stop anything. So Mr. grabbing himself the Boiling Oil and Crenellations here in anticipation for a big push. I like that play, as a whole bunch of these auto-building houses to come through and just defend here. A huge amount of units here for Kvoth. He needs to make an attack happen right this minute, because literally TheMista is breeding this out as the walls come through and the big fat Fey Beast to come in, but Kvoth immediately reacting to that, kills them all off, but his army is now half dead. The ballets getting huge amounts of damage by who ends up going down. Hero Kvoth going to be diving back into the ballet here as Mr. attempting to hold on this position here. And it looks like Kvoth is going to have to retreat back. To me, it's looking like Mr. is completely safe now from this all-in. The Gong Gong is going to be in, and I think he's caught Kvoth out in a really big way right now. So he's greeted the Mythic Age, and I think Kvoth attacking that specific position was unnecessary. Like, he wanted, if you look at the mini map and you go, okay, where's the best place to attack? Okay, well, he's getting gold over there. Got to attack there. But realistically, the army's there, the Hero Kvoth is there, the God Power is there. Potentially the actual best place would have been to attack down the bottom of the map on that bottom town center. And killing that off is enough of an advantage. You don't have to get a gold staff here with this army. You just need to get damage done. But now Mr. is completely fine. He's going to continue to make these cavalry units out. And when he hits the Mythic Age now, he's going to have access to those Tiger Cavalry. But he doesn't have a lot of food income. So I'm not sure he's exactly going to be able to survive this one, as the Great Flood does get dropped down onto these units here. As you see them getting carried away from this position. A huge amount of damage onto those ones, as TheMista, I mean, they're still mostly alive here. And one thing here for Kvoth to try is to just get a forward granary up. And I think that's what he's doing on the left-hand corner, getting that spread out as we see the Qinglong to come through. This unit, very, very tough to deal with. A lot more going to be coming through. We've got Li Jing as well as the Halberdiers and Tiger Cavalry. So we'll see what angle Kvoth's going to go for here. He's still got some really, really powerful units here for the late game, but Mr. has found himself in what I would say is a position that he has avoided pretty much every single important power spike of the guy up here. So Mr. is completely dominating this game, so to speak. However, map control wise, I think Kvoth is okay here. Map control wise is okay. So there's going to have to be a big amount of effort put in from Mr. to try and find his way forward here, moving in. The resources, huge amount of wood and gold in his bank though. So Mr. can start throwing bow lays down everywhere. He can get a huge amount of farms up, or he can spam a whole bunch of towers down if he so chooses. And there's also going to be something to look out for, which is going to be a Mythic Age from Kvoth to come through. He can either go through Hecate and drop that somewhere, cause some problems, or go for that implode to sort of level the playing field. But he does have some catching up to do here to get some units out. And unfortunately, a little bit of miscontrol here from Mr. on those Qinglongs. You want to make sure that that special ability is on top of the entire bit of that army there. But sometimes it just doesn't matter. Just get the special down, get the damage down when you can. As both players actually struggling for population quite a bit here. And I'm a little bit surprised to see TheMista. I think he's not building villages from all of his town centers at the moment, which is a bit of unfortunate for him. He's almost at full population villages, so it's not that big of a deal. But missing out on those farms, he's now up to 22. He's got to get up to, in order to spam out those Tiger Cavalry and all these cavalry units, you kind of need to have like 40 peasants, 45, 50 peasants. I don't care. Just get 60 peasants on food. They're so expensive. Yeah, we'll see what he's going to be actually going for. He does start up more villages there as well. But these Qinglongs are going to be a big pain for Kvoth to deal with. Kvoth, it looks like he's stabilized to some degree now. He's up to 175 pop. He doesn't have his third town center just yet. Mr. does have his third town center up himself. Actually, no, he's still only got 2 villages getting produced, so he's missing 1 town center of production. Not the biggest of deals here. It's not a deal breaker. It's not like it's going to lose him the game, but he should be at 100 villages right now and having a little bit more economy. So those farms are starting to come down nice. He's got a really nice back gold mine here to continue through this game. He's starting to build up this death ball comp of Qinglongs. Once you get to a certain number of this myth unit, it becomes incredibly difficult to fight this. When you combine the stun, the 2-second stun from that Mythic Age Chinese New War hero with the like area of effect damage, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what unit it is, it's going to basically get erased as Mr. here trying to secure another little portion of this map as Kvoth does manage to catch that up. And Kvoth Mr. not going to be able to get away with this one. Nice little find there. A couple more upgrades to come through for TheMista, moving into the sort of late game here, so to speak, as Kvoth simply retreats back. Nice little spread formation there, as he does lose 1 unit and a little bit of HP, but he's going to be able to get away from this, no problems. As the third town center now coming up, the buildings have been cleaned up. I guess at this point, I mean, Kvoth is stabilized. He's got a Mythic Age gold power to come. Mister's the one who's going to have to figure out something here to ensure that once the implode comes through, he's going to be able to continue playing in this game. So he needs excess resources, or he needs to erase the Kvoth army coming forward in the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, he's going to be in a big problem moving forward in this game. Now, he can do that. He's got those Qinglongs, and I don't think implode affects the Qinglongs. I think it's one of the, like, any flying unit doesn't really have any problems there. As Hero Arcus, they don't really take that much damage from this Qinglong. I think they basically take nothing. They tickle, so you can leave yourself in that pool of water, no problems there. But upgrades now starting to come through as Mr. can transition into some pretty powerful Dao Swordsmen. Now, they're not as strong as the Swordsman from Shenong when you get yourself Rashol and what's it called, Huangdi, those two gods, minor gods. That path makes the strongest Swordsman in the game. But they're still pretty powerful, and you kind of need to have the right answers for that. As TheMista's continuously getting good damage done here. He's taking good fights, he's not losing anything. Now time to push forward. I do think he's going to need to start getting towers up and get a position on the map sorted. Whether that's going to be on the left side of the map or the right side of the map doesn't really matter, but he needs to set somewhere up and take advantage of that New War late game, particularly the bonus of, you know, getting buildings up really quickly. One idea is to get advanced defenses, pump out a bunch of walls all over the map, and you can decide where to go after that. You don't have, well, not walls, but just wall segments everywhere on the map. And you can say, all right, now we're going to turn these into walls 25 seconds later. Your opponent doesn't even know they're coming up, and they're just there. It's really, really powerful. He's going for ballet spam, which I also think is totally fine. His army gigantic in the middle of the map here as he's starting to charge forward, as there is the Mythic Age, and Mr. is just going to sit in here trying to get damage done until all of his units get zapped up. And the question here for TheMista is going to be, does he have the follow-up here to rebuild this army? Because you know what's coming. You had Great Flood, you had your God Power, you did that damage to get into that position you were in. You know what's going to come. He's got to have something to rebuild here. And his army here, I think, is powerful. I think it's strong. I love this army composition. The Qinglong's also going to be really powerful to sort of delay any sort of push that's going to come through. Upgrades coming through as well. Getting that hero out, making sure to prioritize that one. He's always so good in the fights. But now it's looking like this is taking just a little bit too long, and the farms on this town center are sticking out like a sore thumb as well. 38 villagers on food. You can see how strapped for food this Chinese civilization is, and it feels weird because there's no other civ that needs to have 40, 50 plus villagers on food. China does, and losing this town center means a huge amount of food income lost and a lot of trouble to come through here. But the game not over just yet. Mr. Ken bring this back. Towers don't cost population. He can spam those up all over the place as the cavalry coming in, trying to take out these archers over here nicely. He's going to be does have champion White Horse Cavalry, and these guys absolutely go to town on these Arcus. But if we take a look at at Kvoth's economy here, it's looking very powerful. Now, Mr. secured his corner. That's the big thing right now. He's secured his corner, so he's got a trade route. Kvoth hasn't done so just yet, but he's got a lot of gold left on the map. So it's going to take a lot of good trades here for TheMista to take advantage of this. As it does look like, yeah, Mister's army, even down population, is costing more than Kvoth's army. So he's building out the more powerful units here. Now the question is, are we going to start seeing a whole bunch of Fanatics to come through here? Fanatics making a lot of sense against those Tiger Cavalry and the White Horse Cavalry. Or are we just going to see more Murmillo, more Arcus? There's the Fanatics now starting to come up in that queue, as the Palace on this position going to be going down as well. There's that big stun to come through from TheMista's Mythic Age hero. But this push here, taking down the middle of the map, securing this gold mine, another really, really important position here. As if you take a look at the mini-map on the very right-hand corner of the map, I think that's all of the gold that Kvoth has. So this is very, very tense now. I would say for Kvoth. If Kvoth can secure that middle gold mine, I almost think this game is somewhat lost for TheMista, because there's enough time for Kvoth to get everything sorted out. But if he can't, then the game goes very, very hard into TheMista's side. So this is where this is everything in the middle of the map right now. Unless somehow Kvoth can start up a trade route and somehow survive here, we'll see. But it's looking like both players, they are struggling for the resources at the moment. Both players are struggling for economy. The hero Arcus on the back here, not quite able to get forward and take out these Qinglong, which TheMista is controlling absolutely beautifully. Love the use of them on top of that forest there as well, as Kvoth has to pull back. I'm wrong, there's another gold mine over here in the middle of the map, which Kvoth is not currently mining from, that is still here. But he's gonna, I guess he doesn't really need to push out just yet, but I don't know, there's 3,000 gold left over there. It looks like it's still going to be very, very tough for him. But I mean, both players struggling for economy is just wild at this point in the game, as the trade route very heavily started for TheMista. He's not queued it onto the town center. What's happening here? I'm sure that'll come up as idle for him soon. Very rarely do you see Mr. missing that sort of stuff, so he's very distracted with these Qinglong as he does spot these villagers onto this spot. Look at them absolutely destroying those villagers on the gold mine. They're so good at raiding. For those of you who don't know, or for those of you who remember, Chimera raids. Those are still a thing in Retold, right? But that's effectively what we've got with the Qinglong. But more damage, wider, not more, maybe similar damage, but wider area of effect. Walls don't stop them. Cliffs don't stop them. Nothing stops them. The only thing that stops them is garrisoning into a building. So you need to have like palace nearby or something. Like put a palace, if you're playing as any god, just put a migdol, put a castle down right next to your gold mine, and when you see those units, just garrison, because you're not going to be able to stop them. As the White Horse Cavalry, these things are so powerful. I wouldn't be surprised if they just if they just keep winning these fights, but we'll see if Kvoth now, he's going to start getting himself an economic advantage in terms of armory, like converting that economic advantage into armor, because, well, Mr. is spending a lot more on army. Actually, at the moment, it's looking like the army value for Kvoth is a bit higher because he's got those dryads out as he's pushing forward. Mister's going to pull back, wait for his special abilities from those Qinglong to come through. He's making another whole bunch of those terracotta soldiers. They're charging after the hero Arcus. You can only do that once per town center unless the town center dies and you rebuild it, and you can do it again. As the army ready to charge through onto this town center, spraying down onto those destroyers as they all get caught out of position, and they will end up dying there. And Kvoth has to pull back, but he's setting up in the middle of the map now, getting that palace down. Again, this is what's important. The center of the map, this gold mine. Mr. as well might run out of gold mines here. That's how important this center is. But we do see a whole bunch of these Wuzu Javelineer now coming through as well. Very, very cheap on the gold, but very good at killing off those Arcus, as Mr. here going to attempt to push through and take out those Arcus heroes to allow his Qinglong a huge amount of value. The amount of control here on these dragons is impeccable. Mr. is controlling this army better than I think anything I've seen thus far. But great little garrison micro now from Kvoth, and now there's a point where Mr. needs to respect. He's got to stay away from that palace, but yet again, he's found another point. He can just run around onto the forest here again and continue to get this damage done, as the palace will end up going down. And Kvoth, with all the economy in the world, the big fat army is just not able to make any ground here, as the palace to go down, the special abilities coming down onto these units here as well. I mean, at the moment, like, what do? Do you just ignore it and try and fight, as the hero Arcus are getting some damage down onto the Qinglongs now? Mr. making a mistake here. He's not controlling those, hasn't noticed. He loses 2 there. Absolutely huge, because favor is a finite resource for the Chinese. You can't just throw an extra 20 villagers onto favor to get these back out. You can't do that. You have to wait. As you can see, 13 favor in the bank. All of a sudden, Mr. loses 3 Qinglong, and he's not going to have that advantage anymore. And Kvoth pushes forward. Again, food situation dire for the Mr. He's got so many villagers on wood. He could be spamming towers here. This is the answer for all of those dryads, all of those destroyers, and everything else. But he's not doing that. He's spending it on, I don't know, maybe he's selling the wood. I'm not exactly sure where that wood's going. 58 villagers on wood is absolutely obscene at this point in the game. But, I mean, nonetheless, he still needs it. He's making more Wuzu Javelineer. I don't think this unit here is going to be helping him out in the slightest. What he kind of needs is more of those high-value Tiger Cavalry. Maybe some Dao Swordsmen as well for tanking. And I guess you could go for some halberdiers if you really want, but realistically, let's stay away from those. All the ballets are up. Let's just go for the high value units. Kvoth isn't making any catapulti, so we don't have to worry about those. You don't have to make any Chukonu or anything like that, but he's not going to be able to rebuild this army. Now Kvoth has found himself the kind of go here in this game to start putting an extra pressure onto this town center on the left, and he can start to think about cutting off the gold. Looks like Mr. here is almost out of gold. I think he is, in fact, out of gold mines, and he's only got the trade here, as Kvoth can now move through, put some buildings up, and control that top left corner. As Mr.'s army to come back through, he's getting close to population here, but he's not quite there. He knows he has to hold on to the town center, otherwise things are going to get very, very difficult. The Wuzu Javelineer getting that focus fire in, but as Kvoth just retreats away, no problems there. He's got to get something onto those Wuzu Javelineer to kill them off. The buildings coming up the top here for Kvoth is staying at a very, very healthy 235 population units in the bank. Resources not quite there. He's still got gold on the map though, so it doesn't matter. Mr. with the full map control here, you can technically get what we like to call a chemo trade route back corner behind your town center. Not ideal. Would probably be about 30 to 40 gold a trip, as opposed to the 70 to 80 that you're getting from a corner location. But nonetheless, you could go for that, as it's looking like both players losing units here, but no town center up for the Mr. just yet. He needs a lot more trade out. He is building only 1 trade caravan at the moment. I'm a bit surprised to see that. Normally, when you're out of gold, you start to build like, he's got 3 markets, but you start to build like a lot of trade caravans. But I guess Mr. 22 villagers on food at the moment, losing that town center again. Like we said, this is a big weakness. If you lose a town center, you're losing 8 farms. One way to play around this is to put the farms in your main base. You can probably fit yourself, I'd say, about 20 farms in your main base with granary placement and things like that. Like silos for Chinese. You've already got the silos set up on those wood lines, which are already expired. So you've got a lot of space in there that you can actually fill up. And we have seen a little bit of that from TheMista already as an attempt to deny this town center coming through the destroy, getting some good damage done. Kvoth now looking to attack the main base. If you're not going to finish him off on the left side, why not finish him off in the middle? This is going to stop a big fat trade route for coming in. Kvoth is microing his Arcus, getting some good damage done, but those Qinglong, they're back out as he splashes down onto the Arcus. All the Arcus going down on that back there, but the town center is now finished, and now the mystery is down to 1 town center. He's at 200 population, though, which is quite a lot, as the stuns still coming through, but now Kvoth slowly starting to walk through. Got to be careful not to lose those citizens to a big fat water burst from those Qinglong, but he's going to be moving in very, very shortly, still putting pressure onto the trade route. Mr. trying to get the walls back up at the top to lock that position in. You could put some towers up and try and just hold that position, but it's going to take him a little bit of time, really, to get that all sorted out as the Kontari is coming in, sniping down those mechanical ox carts and everything else here. And now with the Titan shield to come through, that's where things get very, very scary for the Chinese. Chinese don't really have a fantastic counter against high pierce armor infantry units like the Destroyer, like the Huskar. What they do have is Dao Swordsman, which can ignore their armor completely with the special, with the 1 divine damage. They've got divine damage on the Fuji Pioneers, so kind of everyone has got some sort of an answer to these in some degree with the Dao Swordsman or the Pioneers or Heroes or whatever, or these Dragons or something like that, but these things start to become very, very problematic here. But then again, Mr. isn't even thinking about building any of those Chuko Nu or anything like that. It's champion archers now to come through from maybe some more Pioneers, as it looks like now Mr's back up to 2 town centers, as he's going to try and get himself his 3rd town center back up. Still trying to just hold on to the Destroyers, waltzing in onto this area here, trying to break through, trying to deny the town center, but just not able to do so. Mr. he's got to know that given the way that he's secured the map to the right-hand corner, he's got to know that he's basically put Kvoth on a timer here. He's basically put Kvoth on a timer, and that timer is middle gold running out. And when that timer hits, you'll know, because the army pressure is just going to fade. And then he can make his big push, whether that be through the left-hand corner or the right-hand corner or whatever. That's when he wants to make those trades happen. But these Destroyers right now, this is scary here. The White Horse Cavalry, not terrible at dealing with these bad boys. Low hack armor, 43% at the moment. I think that's fully upgraded, but still, that's still kind of low for a fully upgraded infantry unit. So the cavalry will be able to deal with those. But Kvoth here moving one way, moving the other. He's still missing out on Iron Mail, but nonetheless, more Palace getting shot up in the center of the map. As Kvoth, he just needs to... he's known what to do so far. He knows this. The most important point of the map is this left-hand corner, as another terracotta soldiers manages to come through. This is it's kind of amusing to see this, because you get these from Egyptian as well. They don't really make a whole lot of them, but we've seen a lot of this one being used from TheMista in this game, and taking full advantage of losing the town center and then going again, as all of the Destroyers getting cleaned up as they take the town center down. But even though this is happening, Kvoth manages to stay pretty solidly at full population here. But Mr. is putting the town center back up immediately here as well. As the palaces get taken down over onto this side. More stuns coming through. And we'll see if Kvoth can convert here. I mean, he's obviously winning these fights most of the time. Mr. is struggling for gold, struggling for wood now. He's still got 72 villages. I'm not sure where they all are. There's 29 villages on food. I don't think that village account takes into account the ox carts. But it does look like Mr. has just lost a ton, and now he's starting to use villages to fight here. He's still pumping out those mechanical ox caravans, but they're in the line of fire as well, and the longer this goes on, the closer Kvoth is going to be to just completely cancelling that out, as Mister's population is shot down to 131. He just cannot keep up this trade. He is so close to gold being expired for Kvoth, and Kvoth doesn't really have a trade route set up. And maybe he does, but it's tiny. And Kvoth clinches out a victory here for the first game here. Absolutely, this game was as close can be. Really well played from the Mista. Loved the strategy at the front to get that little bit of a tower rush in, and all the good stuff that comes from that. But realistically there, a little bit more of the good stuff needed to happen from the side of the Mista to kind of secure those gold mines. I think Kvoth had a couple more than Mista did in this game, so in the end he just could not quite manage to trade. These units killed, lost absolutely crazy in favor of the Mista, but like I said, it doesn't matter if you don't have that map control secured from it. I think there was a point in this game where he could have just slammed down a bunch of towers and had that position just secured. And then instead of just trying to push, secure his position and secure the sides and just play it really slow. That's the only real way to win with Nuwire, in my opinion, and he would have been in a great spot. Alrighty then, game number 2 coming at you in the left-hand corner of the map, the blue color, playing as Set this time. It is Kvoth, and the Mista on his pride and joy. It is Zeus, and it is going to be a spicy one. Mista has loved picking Zeus on this map. Ghost Lake, he's so good at it. It's such a powerful way to play on Ghost Lake. This is the first time I think I've seen Set on this map. Maybe Kvoth is expecting to see a Thor here, and he's trying to snipe a counter pick or something. Set versus Thor is obviously a perfectly fine matchup, but also very, very tricky as well, to be honest, if you're playing against someone as good as the Mista, and also you're playing not only rolling the dice on what your opponent's going to pick, but you're also rolling the dice on whether it's a 2 gold mine Ghost Lake or a 1 gold mine Ghost Lake. And we do see a 1 gold mine Ghost Lake here. So let's talk about, well, maybe Kvoth is used to this matchup. Maybe he's not. This matchup is not easy for either player. Not easy for Zeus, not easy for Set. The stock standard here for the Zeus is probably to go for Centaur against Set. Set doesn't have fantastic answers to Centaur because of the sort of weak priests and the fact that your opponent is going to be wanting to make Hippias and you're going to be wanting to make Spearman. So all of a sudden, Centaur, very tough to kill. Spearman, very easy to kill with Centaur. Hippias, very tough to actually catch out with Spearman. So the kind of cards are all inside of the Zeus player's hands if they do that. There's other options as well, but this is the big one that I think is powerful and very tough to deal with for Set. For Set here, it all comes down to what the map looks like. Can Kvoth get himself a nice second town center? If he can't, he has to play 1 town center, and I think he has to go for Wadgets in order to deal with the center. Yeah, that's like the best option. 1 town center, full classical fight against those center. People have told me that they can make Anubites work here, but realistically, we're seeing Athena. Okay, I guess I'm wrong. The Minister is the king. He is the man who came down from Mount Olympus with the rules written on it of how to play Age of Mythology. He's going through Athena here. I'm surprised. I'm legitimately surprised, but we'll see how it's going to go. Conversely, if you go through Athena, you do have access to Minotaurs. Minotaurs much more easy to deal with for the Set player. I would definitely be willing to go for a fast second town center here if I see Athena. No problems. I might even take the back town center and not the forward town center. I don't care. And sort of work out what my opponent is doing and then maybe try and get a timing attack on a second gold mine or something like that. Both players have got decent second town centers that are far, or I guess third town centers that are kind of far from the main base. But we'll see what Mista's going to do here, because my theory has gone well out the window. Temple's coming up for Kvoth, a really, really late advance time. I don't like this at all. Mista's already in the classical age, 330, super fast advance time. Kvoth has to pull villagers off of gold here to get the houses up, to get the position all defended. I'm sure that the Minotaur is already either walking towards Kvoth. Where is it? We see Jason already out looking for things. Okay. I'm not exactly sure what. I'm actually sure. Okay. We're also seeing Kvoth going through Anubis. Both of these things I disagree with. I disagree with both of these things from my own experience playing as Set. I don't like Athena. I don't like Anubis here from either of you. Okay. Anubis is a bit. I think Anubis is a bit of a troll from Kvoth, but he's already got himself up 2 monuments. He's going for a late advance. I imagine he's going 3 monuments. He's going to be massing Anubites here, and this is something that I know a lot of Greek players have complained about. We can't deal with mass myth units as Greek. Well, we'll see if Mr. can deal with it. He looks like he's going for a fast second town center behind this. He's got both of his heroes out, grabbing control of the map to some degree. The wood and gold is in, and he is dropping this town center down. It's a little late, though. It's a little bit on the late side, considering everything. That being said, he does have a Heracles out, so he does have some nice defense. Kvoth, on the other hand, I mean, two Anubites queued up. He's got himself 2 monuments only, and he's going to be building barracks. So a full classical fight, full send here for Kvoth in order to try and raid the Mista into the ground. We say Plague of Servants. You can just ignore this. The Plague of Servants does nothing here. Mista's going to very, very politely move out of the way, but you can actually see, I think Mista's also got himself regen. So legitimately, these serpents do nothing. He's got the relic staff of Dionysus. So these villages are regenerating, so no problems. As an Anubite, wandering through, takes 1 smack, takes 2 smacks, now is at half HP. Minotaur roaming over here, going to get a headbutt off as well. No, that doesn't get the headbutt off. And there's the Guardian and Anubites in as well for Kvoth, as the Mista has his second town center up. It's not a good town center by any stretch of the imagination here. But another bolt in the main base. But realistically here, what can the Mista do off 2 town centers against a classical fighting set player that is very tough to deal with? So we talked about Centaurs being tough to deal with because the priests are kind of slow. And another Anubite just getting cleaned up there. You can't be. This is so bad for Kvoth. All right. Well, what can the Mista do here? Well, he can just go Heroic Age. He can go through Apollo, and he doesn't need another gold mine because he can just make Peltast, he can make a Paspist, and he can make Manticores. No problems. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Mista put 2 villages on the temple very, very shortly here when he sees these spearmen walking into his base. Kvoth now has lost 3 Anubites already. As the spearman coming through, the Minotaur is already over here to defend. The spearmen have to retreat back. As this villager, nice little snipe there. Every little bit is going to help here. He needs to get these kills. There's only 1 chicken now on the front. On the back, there's berries, which are pretty well defended. The Heracles over here trying to just say shoot to those spearmen and everything else. Necropolis now coming through as well for Kvoth to get a little bit more favor in. As an armory coming down. I'm not surprised to see this. This is such a simple reaction to what's going on for the Mista. And Kvoth here, what can you realistically do against this? Well, 1, you're going to need the priests. 2, you're going to need the axemen. And 3, you're going to need the slingers. And you're going to have to micro insanely well because there's going to be restoration and there's going to be an underworld to another gold mine that you have to deal with. As Kvoth sees exactly what's coming in. He sneaks in with this 1 Anubite as the heroes are going to come over here, and all Kvoth can do is run as he gets trapped off onto this corner here. He does manage to jump out though. Nice little escape there on the corner. I was a little bit worried for him, but he managed to get out as he's starting to build up on this corner. Now, this is a 4 gold mine ghost lake. So in terms of maps that this is effective on, this is the 100% most effective map for this strategy that Kvoth is trying to go for. He's still making spearmen here though. He's still got a whole bunch of spearmen out. He needs to stop spearmen and get to something else. Heroic Age, the chariot archers now makes some sense. Because he's going to have to deal with a Paspist because that's going to be the natural unit that Mista wants to build. I mean, alternatively, you could just go for mass slingers. Whoa, and the... you hate to see it, but the Anubite dives in onto the forest here. He's getting trapped. Got to be careful. Can't just jump in onto anything onto a forest line. Does now come through there, but the Anubite almost dead. Chasing down the Minotaur, almost able to take this out. Is actually going to be a nice little win for him. As the heroes to come through. A couple of smacks onto the Anubite as he does jump out and Kvoth gets the safety. Huge amounts of damage done. There's 2 monuments, obviously 3 villages on the temple here for the Mista. We talked about this already. It's going to be Manticore, I imagine it's going to be a Pacifist. I imagine it's going to be Peltast. All very low on the gold cost. In fact, Manticore is costing 0 gold. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him getting like an early Temple of Healing and just pure Manticore and just like saying, try and deal with this and not even building any actual units. I've seen him do it once before against, what was it? I can't remember. Anyways, he did it against someone where he just went for myth units. Absolutely brutal. Nonetheless, villagers now moving forward onto this forward gold mine as Kvoth wants a forward Migdol here, which I like this idea. Get set up on this position, control the gold, hold on to it. He needs to be on every gold mine though, because there's going to be an underworld. 4 gold mines. How are you going to get a Migdol on 4 gold mines? You're not. And Mister's going to be able to find one of them and go there. But then you can move over there and try and deal with it. As a new Boit's coming through. It's getting trapped onto this spot as he does. Oh no, he dives in onto the trees yet again. Wait, can he get through? It looks like there's no angle to... Oh, yes, there is. As your new Boits are going to go down. Well, some painful stuff there as the villagers getting up a siege works. Got the Migdol stronghold to come down right on the front as Citadel Center into the main base now up. Another option here for Kvoth is to go straight to the Mythic Age. He's making out a siege tower here. He wants to put all of the pressure onto the Mista. Mista's got himself nearly 1,000 gold in the bank already. The military, the barracks are coming up. He's making elephants here as well. This is incredibly dangerous. The reason for the elephants is because he's expecting a Pacifist. He wants to prevent the Pacifist from coming in. But even so, hoplites are going to be just as powerful as a couple Manticores to come through. He can heal this elephant up here with all these priests if he so chooses, as he will be able to snipe down the armory here. But this attack is incredibly risky from Kvoth, as he needs an answer. At least he's got the heroic age. Now the priests are a little bit more effective against Manticore and things like that, as he will move forward and get a little bit of damage done. The Pharaoh is also in there as well. Mister's going to pull back nicely, and Kvoth's going to also have to pull back. His Pharaoh doesn't get pulled back, though. Losing that is absolutely gigantic, as the town center getting torn down here. There is restoration available as well, as the spearmen to dive in onto those onto those onto those hoplites here. Restoration now in. Town center does go down. Kvoth manages to get the damage and kill that town center, but the villagers don't go down. I've talked about this a billion times before, but if you're playing 1 town center versus 2 town center and you kill off a town center, it means nothing. Like 5 minutes, 6 minutes later, because your opponent's in front by 20 villagers. That's 1,200 resources a minute. 1,200. That's a lot. That's a lot of resources a minute. I can't overstate that. So you got to get villager kills as well here. So Kvoth is not out of the woodworks just yet. But then again, neither is the Mista. So he's moving up to the top side here. Going to be able to snipe down the spearman that's waiting over there. I'm sure more units are going to get over onto that spot. A little bit of miscontrol here from Kvoth as he pulls back. He's losing a lot of units as Mista manages to catch him out of position. As the spearman chasing down, picking off villager after villager. And there is the underworld passage that we were expecting, as now he's up on the top. Going to be able to defend those villagers here. The villager's going to go back up to full HP with that Staff of Dionysus, an amazing relic there in these sorts of 2 town center positions. And Kvoth has to pull back. He doesn't have shifting sands. He's at 100 population, 110 population, trying to make this chariot archer spearman army work, and it's going to be a whole bunch of peltas to come through for the Mista. Now, what units can you realistically make against this? Well, elephants are good, chariot archers are good. You can make slingers as well at this point. That could be nice. He needs an answer for those manticore as well, which is going to be a challenge. As Kvoth pulling back ever so slightly. Manticore getting big damage done, big splash damage done. Nice little garrison micro. This is sort of reminiscent of that last game with the Qinglongs, but now they're Manticore, and Mista's control is almost better with the Manticore than it was with those Qinglongs there. But Kvoth here gets up another Migdol stronghold. He has to basically go in to, I guess, mass chariot archers here and try and just zone. He's got the 21 range from Bone Bow, which does outrange these Peltas by quite a bit. No upgrades for them just yet. I think they're at like 18 or 17 range before any upgrade. I can't exactly remember. You get 1 range per upgrade. So the Chariot Archers will be very, very good here. As Mr. still trying to push out. He can just grab the Townsend at the top side of the map there as well. As the Pharaoh yet again getting left for dead here. I think I don't know, but I could be wrong on this, but I think there might be something a little bit odd on the old hotkey situation for Kvoth. I'm not sure. Maybe he's using select all military hotkey or something like that, and that doesn't select the Pharaoh. I don't know, but he keeps on leaving that one out to dry there. As Thoth is pre-queued, but this is one of those like risky as moves, and I'm sure Mr. is going to say, "Excuse me, you're not allowed to go to the Mythic Age. I will attack you now." And he sniffs this out instantly. He goes, "Dude, you're not staying in the Heroic Age, are you? You're not building units. You're not respecting my Zeus army here." Another restoration also in as well, as those priests popping in and out of the Migdal Stronghold, but the Hoplites going to be able to take them out so quickly. Is the priest still trying to just tap those Manticore, but they just don't get damage done that quickly. You need a lot of priests to kill off those myth units, or your own myth units yourself, as one Migdal Stronghold goes down. The middle of this army going down as well, as Kvoth's crazy one town center Anubis play is looking like it's going to be ending up in tears here, as the Migdal forward base gets smashed. We see a Townsend, or no, another Migdal up in the top position there for Kvoth going up. We lost some villages on this forward position as well, as the Hoplites can now start going on a rampage here. Now, one way that Kvoth could potentially find something in this game is Meteor on the army of TheMista. Can't use a Meteor on a town center, can't use Meteor on villages. Has to use Meteor on the army and get kind of lucky to kill it all off to some degree. So Hoplite spots some villages over here. You can't be losing villages at this point in the game. Off of one town center, there's Hoplites here with heavy infantry as well. Basically what Kvoth needs is 185 pop of Chariot Archers here to deal with this sort of Hoplite Peltast army. It's just almost this, it's just the stock standard for Greek, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get it. He does have the resources. He's getting himself the Valley of the Kings here. This is a last-ditch effort. Does boost his income up by a gigantic amount, as the bolt onto the Phoenix Egg. They're going to be able to clean that one. Hoplites to come through, sniping down Camel Riders and everything else here to boot, as the Hoplites to swing in, trying to take out everything else. There's the Meteor onto his own little position here, and this is what he needs to do. He needs to get kind of lucky. And Mr. here, he's pulling back. He does lose a lot of stuff on this little attack at the moment. This does give Kvoth the time he needs to get some units out. He's making Camel Riders. He's making Chariot Archers. He's got to make a little bit of both, but I mean, mostly it's just got to be Chariot Archers here. But even so, there's still a huge advantage now for TheMista, as he's returning back in onto this position. Peltast in hand to take out any sort of straggler Chariot Archers. He spots the Pharaoh there as well. And in that moment, Kvoth has to tap out, as TheMista well and truly manages to deal with that very aggressive, uncharacteristic Kvoth game plan. I wasn't exactly surprised to see the one town center here. I was surprised to see Anubis. I know that Anubis is like an option against Greek, but I don't buy it. When you're playing against really, really good Greek players, they're able to defend. They're able to make it work. And TheMista is one of those players that is just so good with that army control and defensive play that realistically, building up a really strong army, having shifting sands to move across the map and deal with that underworld passage was everything here for Kvoth. And in losing those Anubites wasn't ideal either. Like, the whole idea of a myth unit play for set against Greek is once you hit that critical mass of myth units, that's when things get difficult. But that's the game there for game number 2. And Mr. levels the series 1-1. It is best of 5 for the semifinals here, so we'll move into the next game and see how it goes. Alrighty, game number 3 now, as we've got we've got Kvoth on the left-hand corner of the map playing as a Ferrer, as his opponent today on the right-hand corner of the map is TheMista, and he's playing as Shenong. A very, very close series thus far. Second game, Maybe Kvoth got a little bit on the nervy side of things. He was playing very, very good in that first game, but that second one, Mr. shows you got to play good for the entire series. This is not a series of one win and it's over. It's a series of play good for the entirety of the series, make good decisions consistently. Otherwise, you're going home. Though losing this series, Kvoth's still got another chance to continue along. But nonetheless, we're on the map Arena. Yes. I'm a big fan of Arena. And we've got two incredibly powerful late game gods for this map. I am a little bit surprised. Just a little bit. Now, what makes Arena so interesting? Well, some might say it's that the walls mean that no sort of early aggression is possible. I say the walls aren't about that. The walls mean that, yes, you can't do pressure, but more so it's about, can I breach those walls? Can I do something exciting here to punish someone who thinks that nothing is possible? That's the fun part. It's really hard to scout what your opponent's doing because you can't get into their base and scout. I mean, you do have Shenong who's got the Sky Lanterns, and you do have some flying scouts like Caladria, Pegasus, Ravens, or Chongqi, the Chonky boys that can kind of get in there. And that's the exciting part. So let's talk strategy here. The obvious strategy here for TheMista is he says, get me to the late game and I will win. That's all he's thinking right now. He's like, okay, how do I hold everything that Kvoth can throw at me? Get me to the late game and I can win. But do I win against Frere? That's the question. Mister's got Huang Di. What I would say is an unkillable Mythic Age god power in Yinglong, which is the dragon, the lightning dragon. I feel like this god power is just really, really tough to kill. You have to actually really catch the dragon out with a whole swath of Goaty. Now you can do it, as we see How To coming through for TheMista. I'm not really surprised to see that. I do like Chi Yo just a little bit better for Shenong, but nonetheless, How To come through. You do get advanced defenses here, so if we are going really late, then fantastic. So yeah, you've got that really strong dragon. You've got the really strong upgrades. You've got the Dao swordsman, which are also really powerful. But Kvoth has got Frere. He's got Aegir. He's got Fafnir. Fafnir isn't a big deal, but he's got that Fafnir to use. He's got the really powerful late game himself with all the upgrades you get through Frere's gift and getting all the Vidar technologies as well. He's got the really powerful Huskal unit, which realistically China doesn't have a hard counter to. It does have some soft counters. The Chuko Nu technically beat the Huskal if they've got a front line. If they don't have a front line, the Huskal are going to beat the Chuko Nu. So if you've got enough of those Dao swordsmen there, then you're going to be fine. You just box formation, you're good to go. Nonetheless, it's very, very tough here for both players in little different areas of this game. Now, there is one other thing here. Well, two other things. So we've got some music coming in here. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. We are very, very graciously using the whatchamajigget, the clean feed from EGC TV as the recorded game's kind of a little bit odd here. Nonetheless, the Cheongchi here going to be flying its little body away as he does snipe a little bit of the unit there. But I'm interested right now is, are we going to see as a farm? I like this from TheMista. He doesn't have the invisibility though. Okay, I'm confused. Oh, he does have the invisibility. Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. I like this from TheMista. He can throw this down. The farm is there just in case, and he can make himself an invisible, unkillable second town center here. But nonetheless, I'm interested right now is, does Kvoth feel like he can just play a late game here against Shenong? Does he feel like he can just play a late game against Shenong? Or does he feel like he has to go for the ram all in the classical age? Because this thing absolutely dominates walls. I'm not scared about a wall if I've got 3 portable rams. Easily kill it. Might actually give this a bit of I figured out what was going on there. The clean feed was not making that noise. That was a completely different thing that just decided to open up for me. So big thumbs up on me for that one. Professional streamer here, YouTube commentator and player. I thought that was just a thing. I'm so silly. Okay. Nonetheless, let's just continue on. We'll just pretend like it didn't happen. Hey? Okay. Anyways, the Chongqi here is the thing that's really cool for TheMista because he's really spotting exactly what's happening. And we are just seeing Kvoth say, okay, I'll just go a second town center. Realistically here, where does this game go south for these players? Well, it goes south on the gold mines. There's 2 gold mines in the main base. As the Chongqi gets to come through here and get a couple of little smacks away on these villagers. Retreating back, there is a Hersar over here to help defend, and it gets 1 whack. And then the Chongqi is out of here. One way to defend against this, and I said this already in I think a previous cast, was just put your fortress down on the corner of the map where the wood is. Chongqi can't come and harass you, and you're good to go. You don't need it on the front line at all, unless you're going for the ram all in. You just don't need it. We do have the Draugr over here now, but Kvoth wants it on the front. He might go for a 2 town center all in here. This is completely fine. It's an answer. He's got to get himself out the Hersar to deal with Fey Beasts. I think Fey Beast, yeah. He's got to get the Hersar out to deal with Fey Beasts. And that's it. A huge army of infantry and just go. And if he can hide it, that he's going for that, all the better. He does have the forward base there for the Ghoul and Bursty. Potentially there's a heroic age variant of this where you don't go for the portable ram upgrade. You just get yourself to the heroic age and then build portable rams, and then you get yourself a stronger Ghoul and Bursty. You get yourself the Tempest, and you just go into the main base and say hello there, Mr. My old friend. As Rushall coming through. No surprise to see Mr. playing this way. I think this is very, very stock standard. It makes a lot of sense, and it's very, very powerful. Whole bunch of buildings or walls coming up from Kvoth in the center of the map as Mr. says, I can do that too, you know. I just place it down and it's done. Earth wall on the way. As the Chongqi now going to be flying back into the main base. A Hersar to pop out. Did he leave? No, he's still got the Hersar on this location here with the Draugr sitting back, and the upgrades to come in as well. The fact of the matter is here, though, it doesn't really matter. You see the villager differential, 34 to 47. That's not going to matter because 600 resources a minute more for the Shinong player. I don't know exactly. Let's just call it roughly 600 resources a minute. It might be 500, it might be 400. I don't know exactly with the way peasants work, but that's not going to really be enough to counteract the cheaper upgrades which Freya gets. So long as he gets to the next stage, to get access to him, he's going to be able to make those back and be completely fine. So yeah, 10 villager advantage doesn't really help here in the slightest, and we'll see how things are going to go as full walls all over the place here for Kvoth. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because realistically, Shinong's got no pushing power. What are you going to do here? If you're Shinong, how do you push? You don't. Dow Swordsman, making yourself out those Ballista, not going to work. Axe, the Axe siege weapon dude, can't remember what it's called. That's a way to break through this, but that's not available to the Mythic Age. Quite a long time until it actually comes in. As the Chongqi will see these walls coming up, and Kvoth is just taking the entirety of the map as fast as he can. Now going up through A-gear, saying, I don't care. If you want to rush these up advance times, that's totally fine. But Fey Beast is in as the village is now getting pulled off, and basically TheMista is looking for the perfect place to kill off villagers here. And this was another reason why I thought maybe you should be putting your villagers, or not your villagers, your hill fort in the main base, because now you've got a garrison point for your wood. You can put a tower or something on a gold mine, no problems, and you're good to go. You get to survive here. As the Chongqi are going to be landing over onto this spot, still searching around. There is a Hersar in hot pursuit here. As Fey Beasts gets dropped down onto the front position, he's going to try and retreat these back. Nice little body blocking here as well, as a whole bunch of these dwarves do end up going down. 3 get into the town center, but I think they're pretty much finished off here as the TheMista trying to get full value out of them, searching down to the bottom side of the map there as they do pop out and they survive. That's nice. Happy days. 1 second left as the Fey Beasts end up falling. Aegir is in. The Xiongqi is now out of here as well. And Fire Archers are now starting to come through. So, I mean, now it's a 20 villager lead. This is starting to get out of control a little bit for TheMista. But Kvoth can grab himself a third town center if he wants, as the Mythic Age will come in very, very shortly. I mean, the question really is going to be, like, what can Kvoth realistically do against this dragon? If he can beat the dragon, which I think is tough, but I think you can somewhat ignore it and just build buildings. Just get yourself a whole bunch of hill forts. Get yourself your goatee to sit inside of the hill forts and just sit there and say, come at me with the dragon. And I'll slowly start moving forward, because why not? That's what makes sense to me at the very least in these sorts of positions, is both these players just playing this one incredibly safely. Now, I do know that, sure, like the Fey Beast was a very scary thing for Kvoth to be dealing with. He's not going to go for anything too crazy, but nonetheless, he still takes a hefty amount of damage here as the Xiongqi flies in, gets away, and is off to the next part. I'm surprised to see not that third town center up here from Kvoth. It looks like he wants to go to the Mythic Age pretty quickly himself. He's getting up all of his upgrades first and foremost. Bronze upgrades, getting his heavy infantry, getting up those levy upgrades as well. Feast of Renown coming through. There are a lot of upgrades to actually grab, and this is realistically keeping himself nice and close in this game. In terms of actual used resources and things like that. One other way to deal with this Xiongqi is to put a tower up on the wood line there if you really wanted to not leave the Herso over there for the entirety of the game. But nonetheless, I'm not going to go for that one, as now the goatee going to start coming through. And this is another bit of a problem, I guess, for Kvoth, and not just for Kvoth, but just for Norse in general, is you got to be thinking like 4 steps ahead when you're playing as Norse. What is my opponent going to do? And then what is he going to do next? And then how am I going to be prepared for that? So right now what Kvoth needs is he needs a bunch of great halls, and he needs a bunch of longhouses, and he needs a bunch of hill forts. And he just needs to be getting those up really, really quickly. He's got that Vidar now clicked up, it looks like, as he gets himself his upgrade. And there's the Qinglong coming in straight on top of those villagers here as he uses the drought on top of that. They all get brutalized. Oof. Oof. I mean, what can you do? 49 villagers to 75. The goatee are not out in any way, shape, or form here for Kvoth. I don't know if I like this fast mythic from Kvoth at all. I would have loved to see him just have 5 hill forts up on every single position here. And then just have the extra food and then go Vidar later. Because what's Vidar really giving him? Obviously access to all the upgrades in the world, but man, nonetheless, this dragon gets a huge amount of value. He's got to wait a long time for that slow to come back up. I think it's 60 seconds, I want to say. Is that villager invisible? And if it is, how? Nonetheless, TheMista now moving through the middle of the base here. He's getting all of his upgrades. Already up to Iron Mail now coming through as... yeah, this army is looking scary. It is nearly equal population. The thing is, though, once all of these upgrades come through, like, there's not much that Kvoth can do here. As the army now breaching the walls, the fire archers, huge amounts of damage here. We'll see if we can actually make it happen. As the dragon can come over here as well. He can take down these towers if he so chooses. Looking like he's moving straight into the middle of the base here. I'm not sure exactly what he's looking for. Potentially an attack onto the town center or something like that. Going for villagers on the wood line on the back here. As Kvoth needs to pull them back into the town center. No defenses on that position at all. The town center are actually the one to start getting targeted down here. There is a hefty amount of infantry or army here for Kvoth as he's going in to try and get these units trapped. Mista here a little bit too overzealous with that army as the walls will come back up. The Tau TA manages to snatch up one of those Deuterinos. There is the dragon searching on the back of the forest there, can just completely ignore walls, ignore this terrain, and just continue to get really good damage done as the Tau TA does end up going down. Wall's going to get breached over here as well as into the main base. The village is getting spotted again. Is a huge amount of damage onto those there. Mr. is now at 100 villagers. The goatee coming in onto this side here. This is just... all of this could have been basically prevented, so to speak, from well-placed hill forts in this game. All of the Cheong Chi damage. We see a nice little Seer Steel here onto the Fafnir, as that's going to get some huge damage done. Another Seer Steel onto the Rock Giant, getting a taunt onto both of these units, and they're able to take those both down. There is access to both Inferno and access to the Tempest and access to the Ghoul and Bursty, as the Goaty getting just a little bit more damage done onto this dragon here, as Mr. not paying attention for too long. Does pull back before he loses it. Nice little play there. But all the upgrades that come in for Kvoth, he just has to wait this out to some degree. He's at full population. I mean, a good fight here is all he needs. Throw and Axemen are going to be absolutely perfectly fine here against these units as the Hoplites that come in. We've got the Berserks coming around onto the back, trying to get these walls up. There is the Inferno. No Ghoul and Bursty to come through just yet. As there's the Ghoul and Bursty in now, as it's going to be tempting to charge through here and get this damage done. And he's just getting in, and he doesn't quite manage to get through. So a little bit of a waste on that Ghoul and Bursty there as well. There will be an Inferno. Champion Infantry is in, as the Asgardian Bastion does get placed down in the center of the map. We talked about it already, but this game will come down to gold mines in the center of this map. Yes, Mister's army is going to be very, very cheap here because he's got the big cheap upgrade from Huang Di. The dragon, however, where is that? I don't see a red dot anywhere on the map, as there's the Inferno to come in onto this position, targeting down onto that back line. No real reaction from the Mister. He's going to be losing those units there, but his front line is still very, very powerful here, as the Berserks trying their best to deal with this. These two fiery birds that Mister has gotten for free here from his Shenong bonus, going to be doing gigantic damage on the front as well. As there he is, as he can just fly around into this fight and just join in and make life very tricky here for Kvoth moving forward. And Kvoth's also got a ton of villages on food here as well. I think, does he have a ton of farms? I'm not even sure where they are, but huge amount of villages on food here. He's really got to get this wood-based army in. I don't think he needs Berserks. I don't think he needs raiding cavalry. I don't think he needs Jarls. I think he needs Throw and Axemen, Huskar, and Goaty. And that's it. But nonetheless, he is making those Berserks because he does have the upgrades and things like that. But it's going to be a bit of a tricky one, as the army retreating back. Sitting underneath two hill forts is always going to be very nice, as he charges in to kill that heroic age or mythic age myth unit there. As the dragon coming back in here, one hill fort down. Is the slow to come through. The Goaty here struggling to get in onto that dragon as he gets sent packing. But even so, with a ballet or something to get put up on the front here from the Mystery, can be inside of Favored Land and get that regen onto the dragon, which can be absolutely gigantic, as the Goaty charging forward, trying to take it down. I don't know how much HP is. Now we've got a Qinglong as well to add insult to injury, as Mister's army here is just not dying. We've got Wuzu Javelineer as well to come through. Those are perfectly capable to take out Throw and Axemen as well. I like the army comp. We talked about how, sure, China doesn't really have an answer to Huskar, but realistically, Dallas Swordsman fully upgraded with Huang Di and with Rushol, they are a counter to Huskar in more ways than one. So, yeah, they're, at the very least, they're like a soft, hard counter. Process that how you like. I don't know. But nonetheless, fortified town centers to come through. Iron shields as well now on the way. Still a big fat dragon causing lots of problems flying around here, as Mister is now going to take the center of the map. And just like on the Oasis game, this game will come down to map control. And it looks like the Mister is going to be having that map control. Because you can't, like, one way to play Arena is to try and mow wood down to the side, to the corner as fast as you can. And then you can have a decent trade route from what you've, like, chopped. As now we've got another, oh my god, there's just like dragons everywhere, just taking units out from the right, taking units out from the left, doing all of the crazy good stuff. So many upgrades here. This is just this is it for the Dallas Swordsman. If you want powerful Dallas Swordsman, do this. Mr. is missing himself iron weapons. It's coming through, and I think iron mail as well. And then these are going to be tough to kill. I do think that Frere's late game here can deal with it. It is still waiting on these upgrades. Frere's gift is on the way. Last stand coming through, and a whole bunch of those other Vidar upgrades on the way as well. As the Berserks to charge forward in onto this fight here. Throw an Axeman, getting the damage done as well. But look at the back line of those Wuzu Javelineer. And the way that Mr. is microing this is, he is shooting straight into the pool of throwing Axeman there. As now, we finally see... Wait, is this just Tempest? Is this the second Tempest? Yes, the second Tempest. Pretty rare to see this, in all honesty. A second Tempest to come through. As into the main base, the villagers are just getting melted here. Absolutely melted. Great decision making, great control from this one. But Mister's army is getting, I was about to say melted, but it's actually getting frozen on the front lines. He does have to retreat back ever so slightly. There's a town center getting cleaned up in the middle. I want to see those goatees just getting moved and chasing around, as we do have Earth Wall now drop down onto this spot. That's going to immediately get tugged down. Don't really know what Mister's thinking there to get this one thrown straight into the middle of an army, because they can just clean that up immediately there. But nonetheless, the dragon now getting sent packing as 2 goatee are in to deal with that. So the wall is now gone. Bit of a waste of 75, 80 favor there from the Mister, unfortunately, but he does manage to get himself back up to full population, as he's going to have to pull back. It might be worthwhile for the Mister to bring his dragon back into this fight, as we do have a whole bunch of units actually charging in to the main base right now, trying to take that position down. There is an ability to repair with villagers here. Repairing is free as well, as Kvoth's Throw an Axeman don't manage to get in here fast enough. He will clean up all the Dow Swordsmen, but now his army is very much out of position. He's almost out of gold mines as well, mind you. I think he's only got the one left at the top corner there, as the bird just erasing units here as well. And with the town center down, he has to spend so much time rebuilding that. His military is just misplaced, and this army from the Mista has completely mispositioned Kvoth, and he is finding himself a perfect way forward now in this game. As the town center over here going to be going down. We've got some Throw an Axeman to come through. The Wuzu Javelineer getting cleaned up by Huskal and everything else. As the Throw an Axeman not really targeting down the right units. Another town center falling. Kvoth not bringing his villagers in to help repair. This is one of the biggest advantages of playing Frere, is that your villagers can get involved with defense as well. But nonetheless, now Kvoth is down to 190 of 185 population, and in that moment, he does say GG, as the Mista manages to find the victory here. And it's the second time I've seen this matchup on this map. I'm going to say exactly the same thing I did before. Positioning of first Asgardian Hill Fort on the wood line, and then from then on, I don't care about a Mythic Age. I care about getting my Hill Forts up all over the map to deal with that raid from, or the raiding from, both Fey Beasts and also the Yinglong. I only need one hill fort down on my gold mine. I need one hill fort down on my wood line. I need another hill fort down on my next gold mine. And then I can go to the Mythic Age. There's no rush, unless I'm going for a really big all-in in the Classical Age with those portal ramps. That's possible as well. That's strong. Haven't seen that yet. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Second win there for the Mista. Kvoth, will he be able to bounce back going into game number 4? Or is it all going to be going Mista's way here, and Kvoth's going to have to find a way through the losers bracket? Let's jump into that game right now. Alrighty then, we're into game number 4 here. 2-1, Mr. up here. He's now going to be going in with his Kronos, as Kvoth goes in with his Fushi. Oh baby. Oh baby, we've got a spicy one here. I think Mr. picked Kvoth's pocket, so to speak. I'm not exactly sure what the draft was. In fact, and give me this time right now. Let me tell me your thoughts about the draft. Do you like the draft? Do you not like the draft? What elements do you like about the draft? What elements do you like about, say, previous tournaments, specifically tournaments that maybe I've run? We had Divine Intervention, which was sort of a random matchup tournament, which was really fun for me personally. We had Pandora's Box, which was a free choice of gods, but you can't play the same god twice. We had Champions League, which was free choice of a god, and you can pick the same god twice, but predetermined maps by the tournament administration. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, because this is we've had the same tournament format, sort of 4 tournaments in a row now, and I'm interested in maybe some other ways in which we can watch Age of Mythology games being played in 2025. Nonetheless, let me know. But we've got ourselves Fushi versus Kronos here, and I'm already starting to think, well, Kvoth is going to be a little bit scared here. Mr. has got 2 ways to play this matchup, and both ways are very, very powerful. Way number 1 is big rush, cause a lot of problems, happy days. Way number 2 is get himself out 5, 6 oracles straight away, go through with Leto, potentially also Prometheus if you really want to, and make yourself a whole bunch of Terma, make yourself a whole bunch of automatons, and then say, excuse me, Mr. Fuji player, how do you deal with this? He does have himself Nejar, which is powerful, unlike Noir and unlike Shenong. There's less of a reliability on the Pioneer, so you can't just go pure Terma, but still it's difficult. As we say, Prometheus. Okay, so no Leto shenanigans here. It's going to be Prometheus. Prometheus is a little bit less scary because the Pioneer is a lot more effective against those Prometheans. But that being said, we might not even see the Mista going for that. I haven't really seen a whole lot of Mista playing Atlantean. Normally it's the other players playing Atlantean versus him. I'm trying to remember the last time I've actually seen him playing it. And I don't think it's like been a priority pick for him for quite some time. But I think most players have realized exactly how powerful Atlantean have become. They're definitely one of, if not the best civilization at the moment. I think if I did a tier list right now, I'd be ranking the Atlanteans, all of them, very, very highly. Though normally I do, because I'm Atlantean biased. No, because I play against Kvoth a lot and his Atlantean's insane. But nonetheless, we'll see. As the forward temple is up, this is going to be a little bit of early harassment. A great little defense here from Kvoth early game. He's going to be able to have his pioneers out, I'm sure, to defend against this, as these Promethean wandering into the main base, splitting up here. Not going to care all too much about this arrow fire, as Chiyo is almost in, and the Promethean over here going to get shanked down. I'm not exactly sure if... It does look kind of like Mr. is going for a fast second town center. He's got 3 on food. He's got 3 on wood. He's got 3 on gold. He's not building anything else. And the mana's getting teleported over here. So this is going to be the fast second town center from the Mr. in this game. Personally, not a fan of it. I think Atlantean is so powerful of a 1 town center. I'm such a fan. I'm the biggest fan of 1 town center Atlantean play. I don't care what the map is. This map, any map. The reason why I don't like it is because you always kind of have to go for the really, really safe town center. Whereas I want to go for the one that gives me all the map. So grabbing one of these 4 town centers is so obscenely good. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kvoth here doing the same. He's got 5 on wood, he's got 6 on gold. Some of those are going to be, or 2 of those, 3 of those maybe, are going to be those big fat Quaofus. So he's got even more than what it says on those. As the Nejar is going to be searching around here. We do see a little bit of an attack onto the town center, but realistically, double heroes here. Not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage, as Mr. is just bouncing around this mana. And a little bit of damage to come through from the Yatsa here as well, before he has to remove himself from these lands. But Nejar, I think Nejar's a really good raider here. The problem is when you're playing against Atlantean is, can you realistically raid? You can. You definitely can. He's getting some damage done. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Smack, smack, smack. But there is going to be Valors. There's going to be a lot of Valors to be used. Picking off Oracle's here is obviously really nice. Great control here from Kvoth. He's going to be able to get this kill. Yes, he is. That's a dead Oracle. Beautiful little play here. Great pressure. This is insanely good damage right now from Kvoth. Almost picking off the Citizen. Almost picking off the Citizen there, though. A Valor does get dropped down. The town center coming up on this left-hand corner here from Kvoth. There is a Promethean over there, which has its eye on that, as more damage to come in. As this Yatsa, Nejar, little duo here is getting huge value, but we'll have to retreat back. I do think it's well worth it to just sack the Najjar in the classical age and rebuild it. You don't want to have it sitting at like 20 HP when you hit the heroic age because it gets more expensive as the game goes on. We're seeing Kvoth grabbing himself this upgrade though from the outside. I think he should be happy with what he's got and just get Kvoth here. He's got himself a really, really nice forward town center. Absolutely beautiful. Control of many gold mines. Plus he can put walls up here. No problems. And realistic, we've already seen it once. We'll see it a million times here, I think, until we might see another patch. But against Atlantean, John Wick, the Great, John Wick the Destroyer, as Najjar does end up going down there. He's going to come into this game, and he is going to be a terror for TheMista to deal with. Now, TheMista's control is so obscenely good that I wouldn't be surprised if he can actually beat that Mythic Age hero. I affectionately call him John Wick. His name isn't John Wick. It's something else. But he's John Wick to me because he kills off many, many things. But I think Mista's probably got the control to deal with it. We've got another one of those Yatsa coming through with another upgrade. I already said that I don't particularly think you can get a whole lot of raids off with these Yatsu. Getting up Rage at the Slaughter. Maybe he's grabbing this because he's got one Yatsu that's very low HP and he feels like getting a little bit of lifesteal on it. He might be able to pull himself back a little bit here. But it kind of looks like to me that TheMista is just going to the next age here. We'll see if he's going to be able to get it. He's going to spot this position here. Dive in onto the citizens. And doesn't get the kill. No. Hero, one citizen goes down. Okay, so he does get one kill, getting some value, but that low HP Yatsu is still low HP, it looks like. He's searching around, trying to find someone to pick off here. Mr. is very much, I think he's very much scared of what's going on here. These are very, very powerful raiding units. I'm surprised he doesn't have anything out to sort of deal with them, but I guess he's just relying on that Valor God power just to defend. But right now, he's got all of his units in a very nice, tight position. You can go and raid units underneath the town center, but the Caraballister is out. Really? Do you reckon he could just dive in and kill that? Maybe? 3 Yatsu with upgrade? Maybe. Anyways, we do see Rhea coming through. I'm not surprised to see Rhea. You get Trader. Maybe you can kill off a big, powerful unit. It does snipe one of those Yatsu down there finally, as that low HP one is dealt with. But I love this. I love this one hero Caraballister who just says, bye-bye all this pressure. Valid that citizen the very last second, keeping it alive, getting a huge amount of damage done onto Najjar there, as we're also going to be seeing now Kvoth going to the Mythic Age. Oh, not Mythic Age. He's going up to the Heroic Age through Gomang. And there's the Theft of Fire as well for TheMista. He's just getting every single one of these heroes is going to be working overtime. But I like Gomang. I think Gomang is your... I think this is actually the best Heroic Age minor god for China. Fey Beasts, all well and good. Don't get me wrong, killing off a whole bunch of enemy army feels great. Don't get me wrong, those Dao swordsmen getting upgrades, that feels great. But I don't see anything better than Gomang. You get so much extra wood income, and wood income means towers. Towers means victory, if you can get there. If you can get everything up, it's really good. Nonetheless, a couple of behemoths are in here. Mr. not going for anything sort of spicy, so to speak. He's just going to be making those behemoths and starting to move forward. We do have a couple of Murmillo to come through, and Scales of Orichalcos, Mail of Orichalcos, as one Oracle getting sniped on this corner here. I did watch this already once. We saw, I want to say, we saw Magic do this against Kvoth. Only Kvoth was playing as Noir, I believe, so a little bit different. But Mr. here is going to go into nearly mass Murmillo, but he will find himself getting absolutely dominated by Chuko Nu here. But the question is, does he have the time or not? Because this timing attack is coming, whether Kvoth wants it to or not. And these behemoths are also very quickly going to be able to take down a town center. So just dropping down your forest protection here might be a bit of a mistake, because it's just going to clean it up. We've got to, oh, I like this. The Sage already built out. Najjar coming through as well, paying nearly full price. As the Behemoth going to try and snipe down one little cheeky Murmillo there. Does manage to do so. The Temple going to go down over here as well. As a couple more units to come through. There's the Forest protection in as Najjar to chase up. And we'll be able to look at the damage. When you're attacking a Behemoth from behind, the damage is absolutely gigantic there. As Kvoth retreating back. The Murmillo pulling back here as well. I actually never seen a Caraballas picking up a relic before, but that's kind of neat. He like places it on the front of his little cart there. I haven't seen that before. Look at it go. I wonder if that's the same. I think he held it like this in Legacy. I want to say he held it like this in Legacy. That's nice. I'm still finding new things in this game. How cool is that? As we are seeing a whole bunch of white horsemen coming in. I don't know if I like that. He needs to be making the answers to what his opponent is building. He's getting some fire archers here. Going up through Gong Gong already. When you're playing up against Behemoths and these really powerful Murmillos, this is incredibly greedy from Kvoth. He might get punished from this, but he will get access to his Mythic Age heroes immediately. Here, which might be enough, but then again, I have seen Murmillos or infantry units kind of as the best answer to John Wick in that Mythic Age. As a trader coming down onto something might have stolen away a... He's still away a... I'm not exactly sure what he stole with that trader. Maybe a Qualfu? Anyways, Murmillo's just charging forward. Still no upgrade here for... Now he's getting the medium or the heavy upgrade there, but still not got that one there. There's a couple of Arcus also coming through in the army. Now charging in to try and take out this town center. Killing this is going to be huge because it's opening up the entire of the map here. And he's going to be able to get gold control. On the right-hand corner, he's got a palace set up. So no gold going to be able to get snuck over there on that right-hand corner. So this position is everything here. Great Flood is just, I mean, it's going to be nice. It's going to help, but it's not going to be enough in of itself to kind of hold this position. It's all the Murmillo now saying, I know exactly what's coming for me. Let me just get in here and start getting this pressure done. As the Murmillo's cleaning up the peasants on the back. Najjar goes down. Do we see another Najjar immediately? Not just yet. You're going to pay full price for that one if you don't drop it instantly. This Mythic Age, it gets even more powerful, but he does get more expensive as well. As the Murmillo slowly taking down the town center here. Kvoth is in a lot of pain as this Kronos army is just obscenely powerful as just complete greed from Kvoth, not defending himself in the slightest here with army, just straight to the Mythic Age. He's going to be able to Great Flood this, but where do you Great Flood it? He's Great Flooding it all away from himself, outside of the town center range, keeps the town center alive, but barely here as the army gets pushed in to the cliff here, and now it's back already. Najjar is in. We see a couple of those Tiger Cavalry as well, but they don't really do well against Murmillo either. I'm really confused at what Kvoth is doing here in this fourth game of the series. He loses this one. He's in the loser's bracket, but Najjar he's getting huge damage done. But then again, it is going down slowly. Up onto the top position. This is the last gold mine right now that Kvoth's got. He's not able to get himself out. Oh, yes, he is. We do see the big bad boy now coming through. We've seen this guy get damage done once before. This has got to be the reason he has really prioritized this. As Najjar goes down, the Murmillo coming back over here, trying to take off villagers, trying to stop these heroes from coming in. Another Najjar getting queued up as the villagers turning around, starting to shank. Mister is at full population, continuing to full send on this position. I wouldn't be surprised to see a palace getting time shifted through here, or even a villager getting sent through here to just start placing things onto this spot. As here he goes. He's wasted his special ability, so no heal in, but Kvoth knows how powerful this guy is, pulling underneath the town, underneath the palace here. He needs to get himself the upgrade, the heal in, and he does manage to do so, retreating back, and now he's back up to full HP. Nice little defense there as the army just retreats back, and now nice deconstruction from TheMista, and Mista's now going to figure out a way to sort of bait the special ability out of John Wick. This is all of his power is in this special ability there as he sends it, and then he needs to rush in and take this fight while Kvoth isn't paying attention. As he pulls back nicely, no ballistics it looks like for TheMista, as he does realize that in the moment there, and he's going to grab it. As he's trying to get this surround Not going to be able to do so. Nice control from Kvoth to keep that bad boy alive. As he sends the special attack in as well. Back up to full HP. Army coming in. He's got to get that surround in, as it looks like he does get the surround with the Arcus damage in as well. I mean, the question is, does it matter? Because even if it dies, it's going to come straight back in. But it looks like he takes out all the Murmillo as well and the heal to come back in yet again. I'm just losing my mind on this unit because he's just so hilarious how good it is. But Kvoth here, he's so dead. He's down 50 villagers. This one unit with perfect control, will that be enough here? That's the question. As the fire trail here, never chased the singed, but I mean, it really doesn't do that much damage. It looks sick. But anyways, back onto the gold mine, this army goes. Maybe just ignoring the John Wick for a little bit is the answer? I don't know. Nonetheless, Kvoth here, he's going to be facing against an implode very, very shortly. But an implode against 2 units, what's that going to do? As we do have celestial weapons to come through as well for Kvoth, which will make his heroes even more powerful. At the moment, they don't have that divine damage. Neither does Mister's Murmillo either, mind you. But we'll see how things are going to go. As yeah, the way to beat, quote unquote, this guy, a John Wick, is to send, well, I can't believe how far that travels, is to send one unit forward really, really early, really far away from your army. Once the special attack goes and finishes, then charge in. I can't really think of another way to beat it. That's the only real good way to go. But even then, I think it's like on a 20-second cooldown or something, so you don't have a whole lot of time to actually kill off the unit. Nonetheless, Murmillo into the main base, trying to distract. In distracting up here, Mr. should be on that left-hand corner, killing villagers and stopping gold income and stopping that town center from coming up. But then again, into the main base he goes. The army is chasing, and there will be an implode. An implode with villagers here, as everything going to get sucked in. He does manage to pull in the hero. The villagers are going to come in as well, which means a lot of damage onto these units here. Everything else getting sent flying. And now Kvoth down to 43 villagers at this point. This is so obscenely far in front. The town center looks like it did manage to come back up, but army is already back over here. The villagers trying to repair it up with all their might. It's so close. Is it going down? I don't think it is. Kvoth manages to hold that one in place. In deconstructing that palace, I actually think that Kvoth was able to afford the resources to actually get himself the town center back up, but it looks like Kvoth doesn't want to play it out anymore. He tries to use the John Wick, gets a huge amount of value from it. Not gonna lie, it was working its ass off, but it was not enough in that one to pull Kvoth back from the ultimate greed that he was showing in that game. I think he just needed to play a little bit more standard. Pure Murmillo, fine. I'll build out Chuko No. Get myself a second forest protection on that forward position. No problems. I think he was actually completely fine here, but he was so invested, I think, in trying to get to the Mythic Age. And maybe also if he went through Huang Di here as well, he was fine. Getting out the dragon. But he got so much good damage done. I actually think it was, maybe it was just go Huang Di. Sure, you lose out on those really nice Mythic Age hero buffs, but do you really need them? Get yourself the dragon, and then all of a sudden, there's not much that can be done. Because there was no archers, really. There's a couple of archers. The Murmillo would die. You hold the position, and you're good to go. The Great Flood didn't really do all too much. You still lost the position. You're still in a really terrible spot. And John Wick came and was holding. But imagine if it was both Nijar and the brutal hero plus Huang Di dragon. Maybe this game goes a little bit differently and Kvoth finds a dub and forces game 5. But nonetheless, well played by TheMista. He's into the finals now. He's going to be facing the winner of, I believe, it's Recon versus Chemo. Make sure you're here tomorrow for that one. It's going to be at 1400 GMT. If you want to watch it already, don't feel bad about going over and watching it on EGC TV. They've got their VOD already up there on, they might be on YouTube. I'm not sure if it's up there or not, but definitely on Twitch. But nonetheless, my name is Boit. Please consider hitting the follow button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.